Hello, confessors. Hello, guests who are coming in and are watching this on replay. I am usually so excited on Monday Mayhem, but I am not excited tonight because tonight is our last recap of Sons of Anarchy. We have made it to the end, y'all. Yes. So, before we go any further, please let me bring up my co-host who I have done all of this with, the wonderful Miss Dina, aka Christina Moore. Hey, boo, hey.
Hey, boo, hey. And Kitty Mars.
And Kitty Moore has came in on this fine finale. Let me tell y'all, this is my favorite show ever in my entire 41 years of my life. I have watched this show every year since it has gone off the air. Since I've been allowed to or was able to on demand when they could put them all together, and what do you get? However, I knew that going on doing this series, we weren't going to have a lot of people watching because this is such an old show. And I feel that no matter how big the fan base is, this show never got the recognition it deserved. And I say that I mean through Hollywood. But fuck Hollywood, because who the fuck are they anyway? But I'm just saying, this show is this shit. And I don't understand how it didn't get the recognition. It didn't get the awards it deserved. None of that. So that is why I decided to do this series in the first place. Because one, it needs to be recognized. And two, I was going to watch it anyway. And
Why not have some fun with it?
And so why not recap it as one of the shows? Because I am a fucking blogger now. Okay. So this was completely random that I decided to do this one day. I remember the day I wanted to do this was the day that little girl stood me up for the second time to do an interview for her from What's Next show for the South Sluts, whatever baddies, the mother baddies. And I remember you being in the chat and me talking about it, and then you came on. And then when you came on, we just started talking. And then I just said, you know what? I want to do Sons of Anarchy. And you said, you know what? I'll take that ride with you, Confessions. And I
I
did.
love this show.
And I was like, it's on from there. I didn't know that, I would be this emotional come the end of this recap series. So I want to thank everyone who has came in live, watch the replay, because I see more people watch the replay than the people that have came in through the live. So I thank y'all. I don't mean to get emotional, I don't, but y'all really don't understand what this show is for me. I wear the fucking jacket. I wear I have everything. And I have never been able to talk to anyone personally from the show, but it's still a dream that I can travel to a Comic-Con and see the Sons of Anarchy, because they always go. They always there. And so I just want to thank you,
You
Dina.
need to find out when the next one is.
Yes, I want to thank you, Dina, for taking this ride. Everybody who has always came in the chat, everybody who watches the replay, and the cast and crew who have made this show, and Kurt Sutter for creating it. Like, thank you for this show. For we would not be where we are right now, and here we are After a year and a half of recapping the show, we are here at the finale. Ah,
I'm glad. I am though. I'm slightly glad we started doing 2 episodes because woo chow, we'd have been on here another year.
yep, we would have. Yep, we started doing two
We
episodes
need to
for.
find out when the Comic-Con is or whatever in 2025 because I can't do nothing until after my birthday in 2025.
That sounds like a plan. So, let's just get into it after I have made that 6-minute interlude introduction. Um, we left off with um Abel and Jax, where Jax finds out from Abel that he that Gemma is the one who snatched Tara. So we've got Juice in jail. Sam Crow has got him in jail to get to Lynn. We've got Gemma paranoid. She knows very soon that Jackson's about to find out. She knows that it's any moment that it's gonna be Juice who tells him. And then we've got Nero who's trying to get out. He wants Gemma to come with her. But Gemma knows she ain't go. See, this is a problem for Gemma here. I believe Gemma could have and would have turned her life around after this. If she was able, if she had never snatched Tara and she would have left with Nero, I believe Gemma would have lived the rest of her years a different woman. I would want to think.
She'd have been causing hell in Wyoming. She's a hell starter. So yeah, I know we talked about this in however many episodes back, but I think that she got to have that adrenaline rush. Something's got to be moving and shaking, you know.
Well, yeah, that's just her MO, of course. She
would be so bored there with Nero. She would ran back to Charmin. I gave her 6 months to a year.
Well, the only thing would have been her problem if she could get to be in Norco with Nero. She would have to be able to let go of Jax off of her tit.
And we know that ain't gonna happen.
And that's what we know would never happen. So that's a woulda, coulda, shoulda, never willa, because we already know. But it's just nice to think that, if anything, I feel like if any man could have made an honest woman out of Gemma, it could have been Daryl. Because
true. I would say there's a 30-70% chance that Nero could have did it. I'm gonna give him 70% chance.
Absolutely.
The other part depends on if Gemma want to get her life together or not.
True. But I feel that's where she would have found the life, because she had no life, because the only life that she had was the club. She had no life. So she would have had to have found a whole entire new life. Period. And that's the only way, and how I say that's the only way Gemma could have turned her life around in any type of way, shape, or form. That's the only way it would have happened. Period. Because it wouldn't have happened had she stayed in Charmin. So it wouldn't have happened had she stayed with Clay. It just wouldn't have happened. Period. So it's just hypothetical. But yeah. So here we are. Jax is trying to put all the pieces together at this point. Juice is the main course, and no one knew this, between the lieutenant that Chibs is sleeping with, and the what's her name? Fucking what you call it? The what's her name? What do you call them people? That's the commander in chief, whatever the black woman had. I keep forgetting her name. I can't remember her name right now. But her.
Isn't he like the DA or something?
The DA, that's what, yes. The DA, thank you. District Attorney, yes. So, but yeah, so see, trying to figure out what the hell her name was, I forgot my goddamn point. It was between her and
all I remember is when she snatched that wig off.
she said, time to, what did she say? Time to go ghetto, time to go black girl, some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay. Yeah, that was the moment I will never forget it. She ain't put that wig back on since. Thank you, goodness. That was an ugly wig.
It was.
It should have been snatched off and threw in the toilet. Okay?
Set it on fire, because that is definitely, I'm trying to play with the Caucasians wig. If I was trying to play with the Caucasians was a wig.
Yeah, and you still go get picked last, honey. Still picked last, just so you know. Just so you know. But it was crazy because when Jax went to her and told her everything, that was a moment, because even the first time I had seen that, I had thought right then and there, oh my goodness, if there was ever a sequel after and Abel's story was told, because even at that time, during the finale, there was already talks of the spinoff. Mm-hmm. And so right there, I'm thinking, oh my goodness, that tape of when he was talking to the DA and she recorded him, that would send shivers if that was played in the sequel in real time and Abel hearing that. Mm-hmm. I was like, that would send chills. It would give the sense and presence of Jax. It just said the whole thing. Like, I had made the whole entire intro for the sequel at that very moment. But anyway, what were your thoughts when you watched all of this happening? Because in my head, I'm like, Jax, how was you about to go home and sleep at night? You know, after you did all this, confess, and you went on a spree, a snatching spree. Never in my mind did I think, I felt, it had to end because it's the ending, of course, and, Jack, but what was going through your head when all of this was going on? Because I was just like, Jax, how you think you about to get home at night tonight and sleep through the whole entire night and wake up?
I knew when all this was going on, I didn't know how badly it was going to end, but I knew it wasn't going to end well. And I kind of felt like Jax was going to offer himself up for the jury situation. Mm. And I felt like he was like, I'm going to get all this off my chest, confess all my sins, because once everybody finds out that Jim alive and they went on to war with everybody in the process of the lie, and the fact that he didn't investigate more and it was his own mama and he didn't really know that it was a lie, that they would think that, maybe he was in cahoots with her, then the whole jury thing. So I kind of felt like he knew that the crews were going to be judge and jury. You know what I'm saying? So I think he felt like getting everything off his chest and doing what he needed to do, because he felt like at some point in time he was going to get snatched.
I feel for me, when I saw it at the beginning, I feel like he woke up that morning knowing how that day was going to end. Mm-hmm. It seems like I don't know if he even slept after he dug Wendy out, because he dug her out after he snatched Gemma, which we will definitely go back to, he dug her out. But when he woke up, I feel like Jax knew the whole time that is what he was that was going to do. Because when the camera went to him, he was already up, just pondering and thinking, like wide awake.
I mean, just like Gemma went on her goodbye tour, Jax went on his goodbye tour. I'm surprised he didn't sleep with a few more hoes.
I think it was.
I'm sure if Colette would have been alive, he'd have stopped and tapped that. I don't know where Winsome was. He could have went and tapped that. He was on a goodbye tour.
See, and that's the thing. He knew exactly where Winsome was. He could have tapped that, but I feel like it was symbolic for him, to be with Wendy.
Mm-hmm.
He was the most familiar. He's been with her. That's his ex-wife, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, and I felt I love the fact that it was written that way, that he was the last person he was with was Wendy. It's a sick, romantic plot.
Now what we need is Wendy to come out with Who the Fuck Did I Marry and make it 78 parts. This nigga did me so bad I had to do drugs and go to rehab, and then his mama tried to kill me and he tried to kill me, and
he tried to shoot me up.
I married for real.
Shoot. But let's not forget that I went crazy because I don't consider the whole entire assault. Hey, Phillips family. Hey, boo, hey. I wouldn't hear. That was
whole drugs in her body.
See, she was doing the most too. She was going. She went back and forth so much, but I kind of don't blame Wendy for this because, of course, she was a crackhead, so a base head. So basically, I feel that she didn't have no mind of her own. She was coming back. She was trying to be accepted back into the family without even being part of the family no more. And when she did, she was juggled between her ex-mother-in-law and her ex-husband's new wife.
Right. And this is what
her child.
This is where I do identify with Wendy a little bit, not the drug part, but just like when I had left my hometown, and I would come back and visit for family functions, funerals, graduations, weddings, and such of that nature. But when I lived there, you do kind of feel like, well, where do I fit in? Where do I belong? You got to rebuild alliances and stuff like that. And so not only that, she was, when she came back from being, she was a drug addict. So she already had a negative connotation on her. So she was, to me, it seemed like she was just, Gemma is the queen bee. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, of course, if I can get in her good graces, then, it'll be all for the better. So, I think that's where she was. And I think at some point, her mind and heart connected. Like, Gemma ain't right. It's better to be on the side of Tara because then I'll be able to get my boys, but not knowing that everybody was using her as a pawn in the game.
Right. You see, she was so conflicted because she always had Gemma in her ear making Tara look bad. If you can make Tara look bad, and if Tara is that bad, Jax is going to figure it out that Tara is that bad, and then Tara's going to be on the out. So it's like it was hard for Gemma. Made that shit hard for her. Because Gemma knew without the lies, Gemma would have never had Wendy on her side. It was always Gemma being jealous of Tara that made her seek out Wendy because she felt, okay, well, I can let Wendy move into place and then I can easily move Wendy out. But it's harder to get Tara out. she is very manipulative.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very manipulative. Because here is how I wonder about Gemma. Gemma left Charming, met JT and the son and Sam Crow, and she brung them back to Charming. They didn't know Charming. She did. She brung them back. So she has always had the biggest and major influence, because you think it would be Clay. You think it would have been JT. But no, she influenced them. You influence 9 men.
Right, because she's the queen bee. She is the queen
with
bee.
your young ass, because you were younger, a little bit young. You was a little bit young.
Right, because here's the thing. We always say that the younger people are more creative, more innovative. And okay, so say there's this 10, 15, however many year difference in age, right?
Yes.
So she's like, oh, well, it should be done like this, or it should be done like that. And, she was a young, hot thing. What's that song? It's such a vibrant thing. You know what I'm saying? And she had the ear of all the people. You know what I'm saying? She was a young, hot thing.
Yep, period. So, I wonder, it would be nice to actually see a prequel of the first 9, because if Clay liked her, I wonder who else liked her. Could Jury have liked her? Did Bobby ever have a thing for her? Did Piney ever have a thing for her? Because obviously when Gemma had to have first came in, she had to have started off as a crow eater.
Right.
So, who knows?
Not if JT saw her standing at the bus stop sucking on a lollipop.
But still,
because I'm just like how. Well, I know that Clay snatched up Cherry to get back a half sack, but I don't care white, black, yellow, black, yellow, green, purple, or whatever. People know a baddie when they see a baddie. And as bad as Gemma is right now in her big age, I know she was bad 30 years ago.
Right.
And so if she walked in the door, she might have been a crow eater for 5 minutes.
Because in this world, you got to prove you could be trusted and you loyal, and
I get that, but we also have to look at 2 things: pretty privilege and white privilege.
Well, shit, they all white though.
But I'm just saying, you just look when we watch Feud, it is undeniable that a gorgeous Caucasian woman can start wars, which we just saw she did.
Oh yeah,
and this is what her being. Think about it. Gemma was still hot. Remember when the scene when they snatched her up and took her to the whoop-de-whoop, whatever? If she still wasn't a hot body, if Gemma would have been 300-400 pounds, I guarantee you none of them men would have tried to SA her to get back at the club. They would have snatched Tara. They would have snatched Donna. They would have snatched anybody else but her.
Where did that come from? I missed the connect. Where'd that come? Where we get that from?
I'm just saying, because Gemma, even in her big age, she still looked good. So if she is doing this, you know what I'm saying? Jax is like 30. So Gemma gotta be knocking on the door of 50.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. Yeah.
So she knocking on the door of 50. So 30 years prior, with not having the cut, in from her open heart surgery with, you know what I'm saying, the boobies pointing north, with her long flowing hair, and her tight jeans and boots and heels. Please,
Right?
she'd have said,
Yeah.
we need to go whoop de whoop this and whoop de whoop that, and everybody is just salivating. I mean, look who all was in love with her: Unser, Piney, Tig, Bobby, JT, Clay. Everybody was like,
Riley was in love. Wait, I missed that.
not in love with her, but you know, I mean, maybe, you know what I'm saying. He felt some type of way or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
When? I totally have missed this.
I don't mean like he was in love with her, like he wanted to be with her, but she had like a power over him. That's what I got from it.
What kind of power? Oh, what kind of power did you feel?
I don't know. Like, you know how like she had went to him in the cabin and stuff, and like she was persuasive.
I mean, yeah, she bitch could persuade anybody.
That's what I'm saying. I ain't saying like Piney was in love with her. Maybe I should have left him
well,
off the list.
Yeah, well, in that case, everybody was, because she could persuade anyone. She persuaded everyone.
She was, you know, she was persuasive.
Because she had with two
90s hip hop references.
She had two things. She was so persuasive because they were one. I mean, yeah. I mean, regardless if they showed it or not, if Gemma came up to you and said, "Throw me on the kitchen counter," you go throw Gemma on the kitchen counter.
Exactly.
And not only that, they're fucking terrified of her. And that's a turn on.
Okay, so maybe that's what I'm saying. Maybe Piney wasn't in love with her, but maybe he felt some type of way. She's persuasive. She put the fear of God in people. And this is at 50. She didn't just pick this up overnight. Absolutely. And for her to be like put out, let me tell you something. You can look at any real life story of anybody who was out on the streets, like as a teenager. They build a thick skin. They develop some manipulation skills because they need somewhere to stay, or, you know what I'm saying, or they pickpocketed, or, you know, they manipulated, persuasive, or whatever. And then you get into a club where they already doing illegal types of things, you know what I'm saying, and you got a smart street mind, and you say, hey, y'all need to whoop de whoop and flip it like this. Everybody's like, oh, we ain't thought about it. So not only do she got the TNA, she got the brains too. That's all I'm saying.
She got it all. I mean, she was a threat. She was a threat on so many levels. I
mean, you know, she was a triple threat. She had brains, she had beauty, and she had body.
And this is why I wonder, because I would love to know where she learned that. Because, oh yeah, but you know, who specifically? Because, you know, she didn't learn nothing from her mama because she came from a broken home.
Right.
Because she was in the streets for early. You know, you saw that. You saw a glimpse of her childhood when she was on the lam and went and escaped to her father's, you know, before she put him in the home, where her and Tara ended up snatching the nanny, and Tig helped them, and then Tig was mad at him because they told Jax, and they said they wasn't gonna tell Jax. So it's just like she came from a broken home, and it wasn't until actually I was rereading this book, because I brought this book to work today, in the Bible, and because I wanted to get everything on there and to talk about it later. But when I was reading this earlier, it made me remember and realize, you know, Gemma came from a broken home. Mm-hmm. So you know how.
And you know what? Maybe her mama manipulated her daddy, and maybe it was out on the streets. But let me tell you something. Now, I myself was put out when I was 17 and pregnant. So I identified with Gemma. I didn't know how to work the welfare system. People taught me. I didn't know how to do some other extracurricular activities that the statute of limitation is now passed on. People taught me. I didn't, when they say if what you say after you add the baking soda, somebody taught me. So you know what I'm saying. When you out on the streets and you need to survive, you gonna make it work.
Mm-hmm.
You got kids' mouths to feed and whatnot. Now, luckily, she got with JT before she started popping out kids. But you know what I'm saying? If you rolling with a crew of people, you learn where you need to excel to get ahead.
Right.
So that's all I'm saying.
Fact. Okay.
And when see, she's not like one of them girls that maybe had to get with half sack and then maybe get with a Tig and then work herself up to a JT or a Clay. She one of them girls that will walk in and command the room to where somebody in a top level position would be like, that's the type of boo I need by my side. See?
Phillips family, please indulge me. Please indulge me and elaborate.
I was out there gang banging, slanging. Man, shoot, first of all, I wasn't gonna sell no cooter, and I wasn't gonna be hungry.
Okay.
So you got to learn some other skills. Now, some people who ain't as smart got to go down other avenues.
I'm one of those people. I ain't gonna
You know what I'm saying?
I don't even know what other avenues, because I really ain't that smart.
Well, no, what I'm saying is it when you out on the streets, you either robbing people.
Oh, I ain't good enough for that.
Or robbing and jacking people.
Okay, after you said robbing people, you started going in and out, and I ain't hear nothing you was saying.
Curricular things, you know what I'm talking about. You know, the white girl, the hair
you going in and out.
Crack, whatever you got.
We can't hear nothing you saying, Dina. You going in and out. Hey. Now you're frozen and I don't hear you at all.
Oh, okay.
Go back in. Go out and come back in.
Can you hear me?
We gonna let her go out and come back in. Hopefully she hears us saying that. Let her go out and come back in. But yeah, that Gemma has came a long way. And she was able to do her thing and bring all of these men in and do what she had to do. She was able to switch up these husbands. I mean, she got it good to where she can make a whole entire husband disappear. We don't even know, as we are going through, we went through the whole entire series. I realized we were so in this little group, we were so much going on the fact that we just knew how JT had died. We just knew that, Clay and Gemma had something to do with it. But we cannot forget the fact that in season 7, was it 7, when Jury had that face to face and was talking to Jax right before Jax snatched him. I believe that is when Jax came to a different realization. The realization that, it's not actually clear that it was or ever has been Clay and Gemma. Because even though that's what they tried to do, and even though that's what they thought happened, that's the narrative that we had for the whole entire series up until the scene with Jax and Jury, when Jax snatches Jury. Right before he does, he talks to Jax. He's talking to him about JT. And it was at that moment, like, we realized, well, damn, that's a whole nother possibility. So now that we have that reasonable doubt, we are still at the point where we're back to the point where we don't know what happened to JT.
Right.
So it didn't dawn on me till today. Today. Reading the book. When they're talking about it. It is never clear. It's never clear how JT actually did pass.
Well, we know that it was the motorcycle accident, but
like, we know it was the motorcycle
right?
accident.
But like Jury said, he would have known or not if something was wrong with his bike. But he might have felt that something was wrong with his bike and would have been like, "Let it be what it's gonna be."
No, but it wasn't that because like Jury had said, the who worked on this bike snatched him, but that was due to Clay and Gemma. Okay. Mm-hmm. But JT knew his bike. That was his bike. That was his bike that he customly had built and everything done, I believe. So he knew that bike. He knew. So if anything had happened, I feel they feel that JT could have also known what would have happened by getting on that bike in the first place. And I think, and that's why we were met with how Jax ultimately decided to go out. Because think about it. JT writes in the journal that he knew about Gemma and Clay. He knew he had that.
But I mean, I don't know why he didn't just get him a plane ticket back to Ireland and say, "Fuck that hoe."
True. I don't know.
I mean, we don't know till they give us the answers, but I'm just saying, and I feel you on that, because let me tell you something. I love my cars. Every time if I turn my car on, something don't sound right. I could even have my music up loud and be like, "What was that? Oh no, you're not getting my income tax money today." So, yeah.
Right. Oh no, you didn't, Phyllis family. I could teach you, but I have to try.
Right, but that's what I was saying before I was having technical difficulties, is that you learn to survive and adapt on the street. Mm-hmm. And I just feel like Gemma was good at what I mean, based on the way she currently is acting, I do feel like she was manipulative back then. She saw a Top Gun. She maneuvered her way to get it. And then, along the way, she picked up skills to help facilitate, to put her team in a better place. That's what I was saying.
Fact. And also another scenario could also be because you have to put in the factor of her broken family.
Mm-hmm.
Gemma didn't know real, never has known real love.
Right. Because
Unconditional
you
love.
saw at the end, before her very timely demise, actually it was a late demise, but because people usually say untimely, but it was late if you ask me. She talks about how her mama didn't want kids, and then after her brother died, she just checked out. And I'm pretty sure that, a lot of times when maybe the daddy was working all the time and, she didn't have true love, she went unseen, unheard. And when somebody starts paying attention to what you say, you got to come up with new schemes, inventive this and that and the third and everything. So, because they're paying attention to me, I'm smart, the smartest person in the room. You know what I'm saying? I got to keep this in motion.
Right. So I think that, well, yeah, that's basically how it was that. So let's talk about Gemma's death, because
Right, because I'm looking at the scene now where Jax is taking off his shoes with her BLOOD on it.
Mm-hmm. So well, first, before we get there, let's go back even further to one of the most pigment parts of what I like to call in Act 3, because since this is based off of Hamlet, the scene with Jax when he goes to visit Juice in prison,
Mm-hmm.
and Juice tells him the details and full truth of what actually happened that night with Gemma snatching Tara. Now, poor Jax. I mean, there is all of the looks in his face.
He
first
looked
of all,
very distraught.
I believe the tears, the last 3 episodes, the tears are real.
Mm-hmm.
And especially the last episode. Every person who had a crying scene, those tears were real.
Well, and I think just like they had said on what was I watching? Schitt's Creek, when they did the little after special. When it's it's the last season. I mean, sometimes they tell people think of the most depressing time or sad time in your life, dead puppies, the ASPCA commercial, whatever. But I think a lot of times too, when it's the last season, all the emotions of when you're getting into your character, because a lot of these people have said, in different articles and whatnot, how they feel like they are that character,
Yes. I mean, when you in the book, especially Jax, Ryan, Jax, Opie, Jackson Opie specifically, I believe were two who felt that they played the closest to themselves in a way in this book, because they were able to connect their characters with so many things that happened to them in real life personally. Especially Jax with his father, Charlie Hunnam with his father in real life. That relationship and how his father was helped him navigate his relationship with Ron Perlman's character in the series. And so I say that to say Kurt and the writers who wrote this are brilliant writers, because they were able to help the characters personally connect with something they had nothing to connect with. And I say that especially for Katie Seagal, Gemma, because when all of the guys who got picked to be in who went to got picked to do the show, they all were able to go and research, motorcycle clubs and all that, see how it was, the ins and outs and everything. And that's how Kurt did before he even started writing the show. And so, but for Gemma, for Katie Seagal, when she went to go research women in the motorcycle club and all of that, she didn't have nothing really to go by. So when you see Gemma, when you see Katie Seagal as Gemma, she is actually setting a blueprint in a way of how how the women in an MC are. And that got me to thinking, there's a fucking dope ass show about the women behind the men.
Yes, that's kind of like how we have the Housewives series. You could have the women of the MC. You know what I'm saying? Where they sit around their own church table and talk about the problems they got with their men and how they manipulate them and get what they want. You know what I'm saying? All the times they got to go save them because they thinking with the wrong head. Yeah, you're right. That would be some dope ass shit.
There's a story. Because also, as I was reading the book, they talk about how they knew it was going to be there was a place for a female audience. And yes, there was. Yes, there was. But just imagine, it's kind of like, and this is perfect to say because the motorcycle club, how they talk about it in the book, they refer to it like they compare it to the mob. And so the women's perspective would be like Mob Wives. And there was a whole entire show called Mob Wives, and it was very big. I think there would be a great fan base, and all of the women.
And if it was real, I mean, but it couldn't be real because we don't want nobody going to jail, so it have to be fictional. You know what I'm saying? But because even with the Mob Wives show, they never divulged any secrets. But I mean, with Mob Wives, they had women on there that was down, but they never gave up no secrets. So it has a potential. It has a potential to be real, but a lot of the Mob Wives, their husbands or significant others was either already locked up or deceased. So there's that. But it would definitely be interesting. I would definitely watch it because I'm always interested in, what they say behind.
But I would want them to do it just like they did. So do the research as much as you could, of how it really was. Even if you got to search, actual Mob Wives and just maybe take it down a notch because they would do too much. But I'm just saying that would be a dope ass type of show. Maybe I need to write it. But shit, I would need to be.
I do honestly believe that it would be so intriguing. You know what I'm saying? Because, but what they say behind every man is a good woman. I honestly believe that that would be very good. I mean, there's so many we already had the Mayans. You know what I'm saying? There's so many spinoffs that you could take from this. You got the Mayans, you got the Niners. Don't nobody want to see the Aryans, but
there are.
I mean, I'm just being sarcastic.
There's a whole bunch who would love it.
I know, but I'm just saying. We already did the Mayans. So if you did the Niners, say you did the Aryans, then you got Abel and Thomas. Then you got a prequel of what took place before, okay, and then you got the female perspective. You could do 5 spinoffs easily.
Do more than that if you go over to Ireland. There's like 3 more if you do it from the IRA perspective. You know, they're so freaking.
And then if you did SOA behind bars, I mean, we could probably get up to at least 10 spinoffs from this one
easily.
show.
It could do a lot. That's the whole point. There is so much there. There's so much there. It's not even funny. That's the whole thing. Kurt has timeless. That's why I'm like, whatever he's doing now that he about to come out with, like, Kurt, as soon as you're done.
Let me tell you this. Did you notice that Jax is wearing his wedding ring this whole time? Still.
Yes, he is. Yes.
And I just want to say my little fun fact was, so in the one episode where Jax ran out the back of the store and then he jacked the dude's car, I swear to God, that's like the first time I ever seen Jax drive a car. I'm like, do you even know how to drive a car?
Yes. Me too. I'm like, oh. I said, oh, Jack's driving a car and it don't even look right.
Right. Because we ain't never seen, I swear to God, my first thought was, have we ever seen Jax drive a car? Now, I don't know. Now, 90% of the time, like when he was driving a van or, you know, snatching up people, I don't mean snatch, like physically snatching people off the street. Yeah, I was just kind of like, I don't think I ever seen Jax drive a car before.
Me neither. And it was very rare because we also see him, you know, when he throw away the shoes with the BLOOD on it, you know, he puts on the boots for the first time. And when I was in the book, they talk about that, you know, the fact that they talk about the whole entire, you know, thing of it all, and the fact that, you know, no, they don't wear boots, they wear sneakers and whatnot. And so it was very symbolic seeing that he wore the sneakers, because if you look at that old picture of the first 9, it shows them old school, and of course they're wearing the boots. So I don't know when the sneakers came into play, and most of the men still wear the sneakers, because you see Bobby still wearing them. I think Tig still wears them. I think Chip still wears them. So some of the men still wear them, but Jax himself specifically, I never even really paid attention to any of the other men. I think Half Sack did, of course. You couldn't imagine Half Sack wearing no boots. Juice wore shoes. I don't know if Opie did or not.
We have to go back. I think I really think, like, all the questions that we have, right? We should go back, do our research, and take clips.
No, so I'm glad
you said that. Final recap,
because I did a lot of research today and I wasn't able to finish. So next week, Monday, I do want to come back and just do a behind the scenes. So next week's episode, we will be doing one more, and it's going to be called "Behind the Sons of Anarchy Behind the Scenes." And we're going to go through the book, and we're going to search and stalk their profiles on Instagram and stuff. And we're really going to stalk them and get into it, because we've already been on for an hour, and I don't like to keep everybody, especially on a Monday, because you're just getting into the groove of things and all that stuff. But I did just want to say that, yeah. So Wendy, she leaves with Nero, and Wendy doesn't, and I would love to have seen Nero telling Wendy everything, because he didn't tell, because Jax didn't tell her, because he said Nero will fill you in, bring you up to speed. I'm surprised he didn't say that, but Nero's going to fill her in. And when she asked Nero, he was like, I'll tell you, not now. You know, the kids were up in the back seat and listening ear. So I would love to have seen when Nero had told her everything. It would have been the bomb. And so I think that's why, and I know
because do you think because we really feel like, does Wendy really know what Gemma did?
That's what I'm saying. She didn't know anything. She didn't know nothing. Because you got to remember, Nero didn't know until Jax called him looking for her. And that was when he went to Wendy. And, he wasn't trying to start no more to get her all frazzled. So, of course, he didn't tell her because Nero's an stand-up guy. So he wasn't going to say nothing. So no, Wendy had no clue. So that's why I'm like, I would have loved to have seen when she found out everything. And that is why I know it wasn't the place for it, but that's why I was kind of upset when I seen her guest star in the Mayans with
okay, so I didn't watch the Mayans. So did Nero ever pop up in the Mayans?
No, Wendy did.
Right, I know Wendy did because I've heard you mention it, but I didn't watch that episode.
No, Nero never did. The only people from Sons that popped up were God, what's his name? Hold on, because I'm gonna find it because he's listed.
And then we ain't even talk about Juicy Juice.
We're gonna talk about it for a second. Yeah, hold on. But I just wanted to so the people that were in Sons was who was Tig made his way because he was vice president, and at that point that's when Tommy Flanagan said he was doing bigger and better things, so you would never see him reprise his role or whatever. I don't know if he's changed his mind since, but whatever. But oh yeah, Montez appeared in Mayans, and they actually ended up snatching him in the Mayans. Happy appears in the Mayans, and they end up snatching him in the Mayans.
I was sad when you told me that because I was in love with some Happy.
Well, Happy, you didn't think one of them happy faces was gonna come back to haunt him? One of them.
I'm pretty sure you can't do dirt and don't expect karma,
Right. So it's funny. So now you got to think about it. When we see the theme for the beginning of the show, and they're showing David LaBrava, and they're showing his character happy faces tattoos. It's fun to think that one of those tattoos represent Easy and Angel's mother from the Mayans. Is crazy. Mm-hmm. It's freaking crazy. So and this happened before. So that means while watching this, Happy has already snatched Easy and Angel's mama from the Mayans. It's crazy. So anyway, so Happy, what are we naming off? I forgot what we were naming off. Oh yeah, people been in the Mayans. So it was Happy, Tig. Even Chucky appears in the Mayans. Happy, Tig, Chucky, Potter, of course.
I know I missed a lot with the Mayans and it's over, but I think we should either do the Mayans or we should do the Shield. We should do like some of the old school stuff.
Well, I did the last season of the Mayans as it was going. Well, I think I did the maybe 2 episodes on the first of the last season, and I recapped the last season of the Mayans. And but yeah,
we can do some more old school shows.
No, I thought we decided we were doing the. I thought we decided we were doing the Shield.
I love the Shield. Oh, it was grimy. I'm ready.
Yeah, I thought that's what we had decided last.
Yeah, so next week we'll do the recap of the recap.
And then we're gonna take a 1 week break, and then we're gonna come back and start the Shield.
Oh, I'm with it. Sign me up twice.
All right. So I want to give credit because y'all know I'm a music person, but the song at the beginning and the song at the end of the finale is everything. So the song at the beginning is by Bruce Springsteen, Adam Race King, and the song at the end, Come Join the Murders, is by the White Buffalo and the Forest Rangers, which is the music band that Katie Seagal Gemma plays in real life. I just want to also just give a shout out for the music because there are so many songs I love from the series that I listen to. I have a whole playlist on my Alexa that I listen to, and before I come on to every episode to get pumped and ready to talk about the show. So there's that. But I do want to talk about also how Juicy Juice went out. This is a hurtful one too because he said, just let me finish my pie. And those were the last words that his character said because he ate his pie, and then after that, all hell broke loose, and Tully had got him. But you know, I don't know what it is about Juice, but I just have a soft spot for Juice. Man, Juice is one of my favorite characters out of the entire club. I don't know what it is about Juice, but you just love Juice. Juice has had one of the most complicated journeys out of all of the members of the club. You know, he went through a lot with Roosevelt, and I thought it was very poetic that he took Roosevelt out. That Roosevelt going out was by the hands of Juice. You know, Roosevelt had his strings pulling at Juice for the longest time in season 3 and 4 when Roosevelt knew and found out that Juice's father was black. And you know, that's one thing that's a no-no in Sam Crow. And so that's what sent Juice on his spiral. And so I guess maybe because he one of us, maybe that's what it is. Juice is one of us.
Yes.
So I always had a spot for my mans, okay? Right here, I had a spot for my mans. And so I've always felt that way. But he had his demise also at the hands of Tully after he finally did his last thing he had to do for the club, which was getting some information from Lynn and ultimately snatching him at the end. And that was one of the most brutalist as well. I feel bad for Lynn. He didn't deserve it. All of this came on the hands of Juice and Gemma. I think you can actually blame Juice for this because Juice is the one who told Gemma to go to use the Chinese.
It was well, I mean, you gotta blame it on somebody because for real, if it would have been found out in season 6 that it was Gemma who snatched Tara, it would have been over in season 6. You had to have some woody woo and woody woo and woody woo. So, and of course, Gemma and Juice had a reason to fight for their life. You know what I'm saying? So that's when they became buddies.
Well, they had no choice because they crossed paths that way. And that's what led them to that. But even though they weren't buddies, really. Well, they tried to act like it, but it was funny because behind closed doors, neither of them knew that. Neither of them trusted the other. Because when they were both getting ready to pack to go take Juice to Gemma's father's place to go hide out and stake out, you see them both packing their heat. Now, granted, it took if you remember, it took Gemma a couple of minutes to think, should I, shouldn't I, should I, shouldn't I? Because I think Gemma kind of saw Juice as like her son, remedial son, because Juice do be acting special sometimes. So I think as far as that, she tried, of course, and you help me, I help you, I get you out of here, you won't tell on me, because it only takes you getting caught up to know that anyone's gonna tell or throw you under the bus if they know your business and there's anything they can do to get out of it. And that's what Gemma do. And that's what she did. But on to Gemma when she gives Abel this ring. So Gemma knows that it's a wrap for her. She's on her way to make
goodbye tour. She's on her goodbye tour.
Yep, she's on her goodbye tour. And she gives Abel the son's ring. It was the ring that JT gave Jax, and now she's giving it to him. She's already put in see, even before she is off of this earth, she is planting the next generation in this. Do you see the lengths this woman will go?
Well, we already know that Gemma is demented and needs a psychotherapy ward. So yeah.
But on a side note, reading the book, of course, it made me think in a different way. So the story is based off of the fact that it's Hamlet. It's Hamlet that is based in Murbury. And Murbury just happens to be where the Andy Griffith show.
Right. Mayberry.
Yeah, Mayberry. And so with that, it's very crazy that we're getting this mashup. We're literally getting Sons of Anarchy is literally a mashup in modern day of Hamlet and the Andy Griffith show set in Mayberry.
Yeah.
Kurt says that he wanted that Mayberry feeling. That's how he wanted Charming to feel, and that's how Charming came about. He said that and that is ultimately how Opie's character came to be Opie, because Opie is named after Opie from the Andy Griffith show. And so it's very it gives you a little lightness to it when you think of it all, that the show was never intended to be the most dark
town, population, not, we ain't talking about millions of people population. You take a small town, and we all know in a small town, like I'm in a small town, my population is like 98,000 or whatever. Now, if they got a motorcycle club here running shit, I don't know, because I'm corporate. But I get what was going on in this situation.
Right. I
mean, if you look at it, when we look at the scenery of when they riding around the little downtown area with the cigar shop where we had unalived the Aryans or whatever that dude was with the I forget his name, but he had the daughter that Gemma took out. And then, the ice cream shop, you know what I'm saying? The way,
Z is starting to God damn it. What is his name? Fuck, what is his name?
Zobel.
There you go. Zobel. Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, I get the small town feel. And we all know in small towns, either the right side of the law is running things or the wrong side of the law is running things. It's just how it is.
Exactly. Yep. So who haven't we wrapped up yet?
Okay, so we ain't talked about Unser.
I want to say, because we already talked about Nero, but Nero sold his piece of Diosa.
Yep.
To get up to Alvarez. And so now Alvarez is in the business with what you call it, Opie's wife. And so now she looks happy. This was our last time seeing her, and that's when Jax tells her he loves her on his goodbye tour and all of that stuff. Chucky, this was the last time Gemma and Chucky see each other. You know, Chucky has,
and that was his best friend.
And that's her best friend, his best friend, and all of that. And so I felt for Chucky because he knew Gemma was coming back. He knew something was wrong. And you could just see it in his face. And I just felt, I really, really did feel for Chucky because he didn't know what was going on. He's always just been happy and grateful to be there and still be alive and not going through nothing.
Right.
I'm like, oh, hold on. This is my mama calling. My mama, I swear. You gotta love her.
You always call when you online.
And she called to tell me that she just discovered and is now in love with a new song. And that new song is Rihanna, Love on the Fucking Brain. Yes, I know. My mama always finding out shit when it's old as shit.
How old is that song?
Let's find the fuck out, shall we? Let's find out right now. Let's find out right now. Love on the Brain by Rihanna. 2016.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
2016. Let me text that to her. 2016, Lish. 2016.
Well, we can't be mad because you know this show we reviewing is old as hell too.
But this ain't our first time watching it though. We are aware, we know this show ins and outs, but this is her first time. She thought it was new. Like Rihanna finally decided to put some music out under her nose. I love my mama. Cheers if you love your mommy. She finally brought my work bag back. But then I just gave it to her because she liked it so much. I'm just about to buy me another one. Had to buy me another one because I needed one to take to work for me today because she didn't come back today until after I went to work. So now I got to buy another one. So that makes 3 bags. Only intended to buy one. I'm so over it. But holla if you hear me. But this was Gemma's face when she just got off the phone with Juice, and Juice told her, like, Gemma, he knows everything. I told him everything. It's over. It's over. You know it all. You know it all. It's over for you, bitch. And she knew it was. She knew it was over. That is, now, if getting the bejesus scared out of you was a person, that is Gemma at that exact moment. That is that moment.
But I ain't gonna lie to you. Juice was a G though, because he already knew what time it was. He done took a lot of hell in jail.
A lot of D.
And when they said, "Oh well, you know how you do this," and they green light us to do you dirty or whatever. But he already knew what time it was, and he was like you said, let me finish my pie, and it was a wrap.
So all he wanted to do was finish his pie. Glad he got to finish his pie. But Juice was out of any of the members, you've seen Juice try to snatch himself off himself twice already. So Juice has been ready to leave. He's been ready to go. He's been had enough.
Well, and not only that, he was dedicated. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though he had his little traitor moment, he was like, I'm still gonna do what I need to do for the team, even though I know it ain't gonna end well for me.
Right. I mean, he knows he might have been hoping, but I think he lost hope once he got to jail, because he knew once he got in, he wasn't coming out. You know that.
Yeah.
He went the moment he hugged Jax and Jax whispered in his ear, "You betrayed me." He knew it was over. And that is why he went ahead and just helped Gemma, because it just helped him along, because he didn't know what else to do. Juice really is a helper and tries to help and does really care. But Juice is just also a coward. That's all. And his cowardness gets in his way. That is the deal with Juice, I feel. His cowardness gets in the way. That's what it is. Period. But as far as Charming as a whole, Jax took out everyone that needed to be taken out in order for Charming to be at peace and for Sam Crow to be safe. There is no other way I think that this could have ended for everything to be okay, because if Jax hadn't died, I don't think we would have been able to have real closure, because we knew that there would have been more and so much more, even though we know there is still more happening, because he succeeded the club to Chibs, and now Chibs is president, and Chibs made Tig vice president. I'm sure Happy's going to be the first sergeant at arms, as he should be. And so, of all of that, I feel that, why is there another one of you? What the hell? Why is there two of you?
I don't know, because my internet was tripping.
So I can remove this one?
Okay. Yep, I'm still here.
Okay. Oh, wait. Okay. Wait, what's going on? Like, what? But look, that was threw me completely off. But which is any final thoughts? Because we are going to come back next week and go through the book. But I think we did Gemma, we did Nero, we did Wendy, we did Ava, we did Jax. Oh, my favorite part. See, I hate I didn't have the picks. I'm gonna have the picks next week so we can still go through the pick. But my favorite part was when this ain't my favorite part. This is my sister's favorite part. When Jax is sitting in the in that green blanket on the courthouse steps, waiting to take out Marks. That is like that's just the scene for me. But it was cool because we finally get to see the homeless lady have interaction, and it was Jax, and it was so cool because it's the question that the audience has always been asking, and that is, what is up with the homeless lady? Who is the homeless lady? What, who, how? And when we see Jax finally have a moment with her, and he just asks, like, who are you? And still, she just says, she doesn't even answer who she is. She's just like, it's time. And she leaves behind the, bread and wine, whatever, symbolic for, the Catholic Church, whatever it is, and all of that stuff. But she is, in fact, homegirl's mom, right? Who struck the scoop shop, ice cream shop, and paid it off, and then Gemma took a pie to her daddy because she let Jack snatch her. That was her in the photos, right? That's what
I think so.
I had no idea. That didn't dawn on me until watching it back this time. That's what I'm saying. I watch it every year, and I tell you, every year I find something new. It does not matter. Every time I do.
Yeah, you always find something that you missed when you went to the bathroom.
Yeah, see, and I don't even go to the bathroom, but I still be missing shit. See, I don't pay that much attention to detail, I guess. So when I watch it again, I can pay attention to something different, or pay more attention to something else besides, or all of that. But that's why it's just like I watch it just every single. But you know what? So next time I watch it, I'm gonna watch it with the book, and I'm gonna go through my book as I'm watching the episodes, because I need to learn everything, like, period. But who else did we not follow up with? Bobby's gone. Tig. So let's talk about let's talk about Jax's goodbyes to everyone and how that all went down. So when the Indian charter decided that Jax was supposed to be Mr. Mayhem, and then he asked Chips to make sure all of the guys voted for him to meet Mr. Mayhem on his behalf, and they all did, and all of that stuff. So when he goes to the garage after he's went on his killing spree, and they do the whole thing, Chips takes the gun, he points it at Jax, but he ends up shooting Happy. And they act like, we'll just say, you got away, you shot back, whatever, got away. Jax wanted to go out his own way. He didn't want to put that burden on the boys, because they would have had to do it. And I love that for him. That for all of them, that's how it went down. But when he said his goodbyes to everyone, oh my gosh, I could not stop crying. I couldn't stop crying. And I love the order that he went in to say goodbyes to everyone. He did the most recent men that came first, which was, West and Montez. And then he went on to everyone else. And it was a beautiful thing that he waited, last for Happy, Tig, and Chips. There was, all of those tears were real. There is no way that none of those tears were fake or had to be even made. All of those tears were real. These men really created a real bond, even with Kurt himself. That's why I don't understand, or how, or why, or I wish they would have spoke out or said something about when Kurt was fired from Disney. I never understood that and why. But I guess, you got to protect your career, right, and all that stuff, and all of that was going on. And you don't want to fuck with Disney, because Disney is Disney, even though they some,
Disney is probably part of the Illuminati. That's all I'm saying.
You know what that means? O to the D to the E to the P's. You know what that means backwards. Anyway, but so forget them. But I would hope at this point, it has been a lot of years since they fired Kurt from after the first season of the Mayans, and we still don't know who the dead son is on the floor. We never got that closure. We need some different types of closure that we never got to get, and I don't even want to rehash that, because this ain't even Mayans. Oh, I'm sorry, I had a moment. But yeah, what you don't know, Dina, is that in the Mayans, the spinoff, at the end of the first season, they're at the Mayans clubhouse, and a shootout happens, and they come in, and there's no, everyone's okay except one person that is laid out on the floor. That person definitely gets snatched, and that person was a son. So we don't know, and we never found out who that son was that was dead in the Mayans warehouse. That was one of my pet peeves by the end of the Mayan series. We're gonna have to do the Mayans after the Shield, because damn it, you're gonna watch that shit.
I will, because I ain't got shit else to do.
Okay. But before Max stop letting you be great, we are going to end this live because we have been on for almost an hour and a half. We will be back next week. We will be going through the Bible, and we will be going online, looking up articles. We will be going on Instagram, looking up Sons of Anarchy pages, clips, quotes, the cast and crew, everybody's Instagram. We're gonna do some stalking. I'm gonna be on here like mad lit because I got Monday off next week, so I'm gonna be ready and have a lot of fun. So I hope everybody tunes in for that. I'm about to set that live right now so people know what's coming. It was gonna be called Behind the Scenes of Sons of Anarchy, the whole entire ride. So y'all, this concludes the last official recap of the series of Sons of Anarchy on Confessions of a Reality Queen's channel. Dina, my darling, thank you so much for taking this ride with me and sharing this experience with me. Thank you, everyone who has ever been in the chat.
All the people that's ever clicked in.
Yes, I really wish BB and Lady V would have been here for the last hoorah. It would have really been symbolic and all of that. But I understand life be life, and y'all gotta do what y'all gotta do. But we will be back one more time to talk about the behind the scenes of everything that's happened. We're gonna do the befores, the first year to the 7th year, side by sides of everyone. So please tune in for that. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Thanks for watching. Please tune in tomorrow night. Me and Dina will be on Dina's channel for Zeus, that is Baddies East Reunion Part 2, which is I am about to watch right now because child. And and then we will be back Wednesday with Ready to Love and Love and Marriage DC recap. And then we will be back Thursday solo for what? Feud Capote versus the Swans, baby.
Woo-hoo!
So make sure y'all tune into that. I cannot wait. Oh, and I forgot to say the disclaimer that this channel does not promote violence, bullying, or hate. Everything said in this video is public knowledge and or allegedly. This video is for entertainment purposes only. We go solely off of what we see on the show and we have heard on social media. If y'all had any trigger warnings, I am so sorry. I should have put this up at the beginning. If you know anyone who is going through some things, there is a number and there is someone on the other side that is there to help. I promise y'all. And before we get out of here, which we did not do, let's boogie up on out of here.